My name's Caitlin. I'm from grassfedgirl.com, and today we have a great treat for us. We have Stephanie Gilbert. She's from the Carnivore Ninja. Welcome, Stephanie.
How are you?
Good. I'm so glad you could join us. Now, Stephanie is into American Ninja Warrior type stuff, so stay tuned if you like athletics. And she's been on the carnivore diet about a year. Is that right?
That is correct. I started last year in February 9th.
So how did you hear about it?
That's actually a long story. I am an autoimmune survivor. You can say I have celiac disease. And from very early on, I always was sick as a child. I had middle ear infection very often, croup cough, you name it, all the stuff that you're not supposed to get. I was always sick. So by the time I was 21, I had a tooth surgery going on. And after that, I had incredible pain starting everywhere, starting in my forehead and going down on a nerve line all the way into my stomach. And every time I ate, it would flare up.
Oh, wow.
It did not connect it with food at the time, but it was indeed one of the symptoms of the celiac disease, which was not found out until I was 28. When did I get diagnosed? I came over here 2003, November 2003. Yes, I was diagnosed in 2004. That was a couple of days before my birthday. I think it was July 21st. And I remember it vividly. I cried like crazy because I could not have a birthday cake. At the time, they didn't make the gluten-free items like they are today. But what I found out last year, when some of the health issues flared back up, is just going gluten-free will not help you with an autoimmune disorder, because what is actually the problem is plant toxins, oxalates. That's the actual problem. And if you cannot have gluten, whether you have celiac disease or you're allergic, there are other gluten you cannot have, which are also in rice and some other things, which people don't realize, which made my condition even worse. So last year, I've been in the Ninja Gym since November 2019. That's when I started training Ninja Warrior. And just to clarify, this has nothing to do with the American Ninja Warrior show. It is the exact same sport, but I've never been on the show. So even though I tried out for it, but I've actually never made it. So there is a Ninja Warrior in that gym. His name is Todd Stowe. And he talked to me after I got a food allergy test done. And that food allergy test came back. I can post it on my Instagram at some point with all of the numbers in the red. So I was crying. I looked at this. I'm like, what am I eating? Air? I don't know what to do. So he said to me, I severely doubt that you are allergic to meat. This is probably a reaction of your body being completely inflamed at this point from everything else you've been eating that you're not supposed to eat. He said, ditch all the other food, only eat meat, eggs, and water. And I was so desperate. I picked up about 8 of the cartons at Aldi's, filled up my pantry with all the crap I had in there, which was actually pretty healthy. I never really ate that unhealthy, like regular people. Like if it was processed food, I would never buy it. I would always cook it myself, put it together. Even the cakes I would put together myself with what I thought was all healthy stuff. The meats I cooked always accompanied some kind of vegetable, like Brussels sprouts, which were my favorite. And that completely did me in. At some point, I was a vegan for like 10 months. That was a complete mistake because I fell into a complete hole with that. That was about right before I went carnivore, like a year maybe before I went carnivore, and all the people cleared up. So he gave me the advice. I went carnivore, ditched all the other stuff.
Is something,
and about a month
something
later,
beeping over there?
hang on, let me see.
Okay.
Okay, I found it. Never mind.
Okay.
About
Go ahead.
About a month after I started the carnivore diet, I had no issues anymore. All the pain went away. I had no more of the migraines, which turned out to be hormonal. And the weird part is I had my hormones checked, and allegedly they were in the right numbers, which shows me that just because you get a laboratory result that is okay doesn't mean you're healthy.
And it's measured against sick people.
Some of the other people whoever had their tests in the community, and they might have been sick.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I've been pretty healthy, but as sick as I was, I cannot imagine how other people suffer. That's crazy.
So
and they never find a
that's
solution.
ironic that you did So you were vegan the year before you started carnivore.
About
Usually
10
people
months.
say I was vegan way back, you know.
Yeah, about 10 months. And I was just one, I was vegan not because, and I know it's a good cause, I respect vegans for that, but I was vegan not because I wanted to save the animals. I just wanted to see if eating all fruit and vegetables is healthier. And I never ate that processed garbage vegan food, like the granola bars or whatever I never ate that. Really, I completely just prepared fruit and vegetable. I bought them in the supermarket like they were a single ingredient, and that made me completely sick. Like, I can't even imagine.
So now you said oxalates. A lot of people when they go carnivore, they have like those little crystals and stuff coming out. Did you have that?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes, actually I had, you can't see it anymore because it's gone. Right there at the eyelid, I don't know what you call them, those little skin flaps that come out. Some people have them on the arm or the
Oh,
shoulder.
like a
What are they called?
skin tag.
Skin tag. And I had it right on this lid, and it was so annoying. And when I started with the carnivore diet, not even a month in, that fell off. Like,
Wow.
it's completely gone. It was teensy tiny, maybe like less than a millimeter, but it was super annoying because it kept flapping around when I kept blinking.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's so weird. Some of my not tags, but sorry, I have hair on here. The brown spots that you have on your skin, some of them became smaller. I noticed they're not as large as they used to be
Like
anymore.
oh,
Sunspots, I don't know
yeah,
what you call them.
sunspots. Yeah. A lot of people say those are caused by vegetable oils, like reacting
Yeah.
with the sun and the skin. And I used to have a big one over here, but I got it taken off at the dermatologist before I went carnivore. But I don't really have them anymore. But um, so that's so interesting. Now, when you were first celiac, a lot of people get the they go into the processed, cakes and all this stuff. Now, did you do that? Like the
I had
processed
my
food?
birthday cake, the one I wanted. I really did not eat much processed stuff. Every once in a while, I had a cake because I'm German. We bake, we like to bake. And my mother, she used to make cake every single Sunday. We had a cake and something that is called coffee clutch, where the relatives come and you drink coffee and you eat cake and you talk about the past week, basically, or whatever else going on in the family. And that's a huge German tradition, at least in Bavaria, where I'm from. And Bavaria is the German area where the most baking is going on. They have huge bakeries and they're just famous for their baked stuff. Like all the pretzels that you hear in Germany, they're all from Bavaria. The beers too. So
All the wheat, yeah. I've been to Oktoberfest in Munich and yeah, it
yes.
was a lot of pretzels and beer and
Yes, it is. Munich is a nice city.
oh, it
The
is.
one thing that annoys me the most is, and I'm a lot on social media when I have the time. I like the other doctors, the carnivore doctors. I'm sure you're familiar with all of them. I don't want to name drop at this point. But sometimes I'm on their pages and I see some people say, oh, Europe, they have so much better food. No, no, they don't. Not really. I mean, I was born and raised there. I didn't
Yeah.
come here until I was 28, and my celiac disease started over there. If that food was that great, I wouldn't
Yeah.
have gotten celiac disease. Just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, that's interesting. You always hear that, especially like people say they go to Italy and they can eat I think maybe it's like they have less glyphosate,
Could be, yeah.
glyphosate.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. And then people here react to that. And then over there they don't have that as much or something.
Yes, most definitely. The bug sprays are a lot less worse, I think, over there. But the plant toxins are exactly the same. There's like no
Right.
difference.
There's more regulation, I think, on what pesticides and stuff you can use in Germany and
Yes.
the
Oh, yeah.
EU. My stepdad was German, and so I know a lot of, he was um, married to my mom for like 20 years. So I went to Germany and um, yeah, I mean, I think things are more fresh and stuff, and more homemade kind of thing. But yeah, you're right. The plant toxins don't really change because it's the same.
It's the same product.
And you
Wheat
can
is
kind
wheat. Yeah.
go ahead.
No, it's the same product. Wheat is wheat. But if you ever been to an Aldi's or Lidl store over here, which are typically German, you can see right as you go in, you pass the fruit and vegetables. That's usually how they're set up, at least Aldi's. And then you get to the bakery and you can see all of the baked things they have. And this is really like it is in Germany. They have huge bakeries right at the front of the store.
I'm a big Aldi fan. No, there's two pretty close to my house, so I go constantly. But yeah, they have the vegetables and fruit, and then right after that is all the bread. And
Yes.
So, but it is really good prices on the meat and stuff.
That is true. And if you go to Aldi's, most of that stuff is organic.
You can they have some good grass-fed beef and stuff for good price. I mean, if you want to say it's too expensive, it's really not. And if you compare, I mean, what is your opinion? Because people say, oh, it's so expensive to eat carnivore, but then you have to think about all the things you're not buying, like chocolate. And
Yes, most
I used
definitely.
to buy kombucha like every
Yes.
day. It was like $4 for like a kombucha and, all this stuff. So what do you think?
Organic fruit and vegetable are really not cheap compared to that. So what do I think about that? I think I'm saving about $200 to $400 a month easily, a month, not a year, on the carnivore diet, because one of the things I love to eat is chuck roast. You buy a huge chunk of chuck roast and you cut the steaks off and you have them for the week. I mean, I'm only, 5'4", not even 5'4", 123 pounds. On one of those chuck roasts, I eat about 4 to 5 days. That's $30 for 4 to 5 days. And I buy nothing else because I'm exclusively carnivore. Now, my son eats other things, but he's majorly carnivore. He loves his bacon and eggs in the morning. And eggs are not that expensive if you look at it. Like he likes his chocolate milk. Well, at least it's milk in there somewhere. We spend about $100 for groceries a week for 2 people. That's not much at all.
How
Probably
much?
less.
Say it again.
$100. Yes.
Oh, wow.
And the food lasts into the following week every once in a while. So it's actually a tiny bit less than that, 90-ish, maybe between 90 and 100. That's not much at all. I know in the past we easily spend 150 to 200. And then he would have his soda, which he still has every once in a while. He just can't knock the sugary drink. And I'm not forcing him when he wants to drink it. I just give him lectures. So anyways, yeah, we saved so much money. And it's great being a single mom.
Oh yeah. I mean, you gotta watch everywhere you can. So what is like your typical day of eating?
My typical day of eating, I get up in the morning. I do not eat right away. I hydrate because you lose a lot of water while you sleep. I just go about my day, whether it's cleaning or getting my kid ready for school. If I have to go to work myself, I will prepare food if I'm not hungry right off the bat and put it in a cooler. And like if I work somewhere, I go easy. I just take a pack of stew meat, throw it in the pan, go about my cleaning or get dressed for work. And then when it's done, I let it cool off, put it in the cooler, and I'm done. Whenever I'm home, and then at some point I'll take a break at work. And then whenever I'm home, I won't eat until I get hungry. Then I cut a slice of my chuck roast off, throw it in the pan. The rest goes in the fridge and I'm done. It's about 5 to 10 minutes of cooking, 5 to 10 minutes of cleanup. I need nothing else the rest of the day. If I do need anything else the rest of the day, I can just repeat the process. That saves so much time too.
So all in all, many ounces or kilos?
About 2 slices of chuck roast a day, roughly. I don't know how many ounces, maybe 2 pounds roughly.
Okay.
I cut my slices off a little thicker.
I think that's pretty typical of,
yeah.
And then maybe you would eat a couple eggs, or no, you don't eat eggs right now.
I do eat eggs, but only if I crave them, which isn't very often, maybe once a week.
And what do you think about butter and stuff like
eat butter.
Okay.
I have my butter placed beside my plate and I cut slices off and then I just bite into it. And then if I don't want the butter no more, you get this satiating feeling that tells you don't need no more fat. And I did not have that at the beginning. At the beginning, I could not eat the butter. I just could not bring myself to eat the butter. I just ate the meat. And then after about 2 months into it, all of a sudden I was craving the butter. I don't know what happened. Now I eat butter. I eat about 1/4 to half a stick of butter per each meal, sometimes 3/4. It depends. And here's a funny thing. My hormonal migraines that I had completely disappeared when I started eating butter. And
Wow.
now if I get even so much as a sliver of a headache coming up, which is very, very rare, I take a tiny slice of butter and I put it under my tongue, and I kid you not, it will actually disappear.
That's amazing.
That is so amazing.
My PMS and all that is much better, but I still get like one headache a month, and then I haven't really been able to get rid of it. Like the only thing is just a nap.
Yes. Oh, that sometimes that helps too, yeah.
So what is your view on like electrolytes? What do you do?
Okay, electrolytes. That's a big one for me. And I literally just found something out yesterday that which will blow your mind, like completely blow your mind. Actually, I've started doing calculations right here, which are not done yet. I wanted to see what's in everything. So I have done the Lion Diet twice. The first time I did the Lion Diet was last year when I started. It was roughly mid-March till about the end of July. I had no milk, I had no eggs, and no other meats, just beef, salt, and water. And towards the end, I had cramping issues, and I'm like, I don't know what this is. Like my calves were cramping up. Sometimes my buttocks when I was working out, I'm like, I just cannot get rid of the cramps. What on earth? And then I went off the Lion diet, went back to the carnivore diet, and I started eating all of the other foods, including milk. And I don't know, yeah, last year I did not know why, but my cramps disappeared. I know why now. So in April, we did another Lion diet challenge, as you very well know. And I had cramping all the way until yesterday morning. And I'm like, why am I having these cramps? This makes no sense, right? And even after the Lion Diet Challenge, I wasn't big on milk this last month. Very, very rarely did I drink milk. Milk actually has all of the electrolytes that you need. I just found that out. I should have looked on the label maybe to prevent cramping. I did not know that.
Oh,
So instead of buying LMNT, which is good, but it's too expensive for me, I'm a single mom,
yes.
I have the same electrolytes in the milk. So yesterday I drank about 4 cups of milk, and wouldn't you know, my cramping disappeared. I'm also a bus driver. I was driving shuttle for Hershey Park yesterday. And at some point I started yawning. So when I started drinking the milk and I ate a couple of cubes of fat pork belly, the yawning went away because, as you know, ketones, it's energy, fat's energy. And the milk helped with the cramping. This morning I got up, nothing, no cramps, nothing. I was good.
So is it like, have you tried raw milk or is it just whole milk or?
It's just whole milk at this point. I've drank a little bit of raw milk last year, but I don't really have that access until I drive way up into our county, which I don't always have time for, like to some of the farms. I know where to get it, but I don't always have time
Like
for
the
that.
Amish people or something?
Yeah, exactly. It's called Blaine, up in Blaine. It's like about 4 towns over, but we have a huge county here. Perry County is a huge county. So also milk has enough, if you drink whole milk. Some people drink skim milk, which I don't think is good, if anything, than whole milk. It has enough fat in it that your yawning will disappear. That's amazing. So it isn't only an electrolyte drink, it's also an energy drink at the same time. So I
Well,
drink
you
it
know,
now.
nature has a plan, right?
Yeah.
Um, Now what about, you know, as an athlete, a lot of people believe you have to have carbs and or you're gonna not have enough energy to do, you know, the mix of training, like the cardio and the weight training that you are doing. What do you think?
That was a big one for me at the beginning. When I announced on Facebook last year that I'm going to give carnivore a try to see if my pain disappears, I had many people attack me and say, you're not going to survive without carbs. You know, you hear that thing from everyone, including doctors. My doctor, by the way, she knows I'm carnivore. She said, whatever works for you, which I'm happy about. But some of my friends attacked me, which subsequently ended up not being friends anymore.
Uh,
Uh, I am 400, I just looked it up this morning, 477 days carnivore today. And if you needed carbs, I would be dead already.
yeah.
You don't need carbs. You can also build muscles. I have never built muscles this fast. I went from about roughly 140 pounds, which was when I was pregnant full term. When I was pregnant full term, I was 145. And I suffered so much from the plant toxins that I was fattening up like a cow, literally. I could not lose weight, even though I was doing sports every day, heavy sports, not just a little, oh, let's walk a little in the park. I was doing heavy sports, weightlifting, conditioning until you crawl out of the gym. I would not lose the weight. Even with fruit and vegetable, I would just not get down from the weight.
That was after you had the baby?
Yeah, last year Luke was 15, so way after I had the baby, 15 years after I had my baby. But when I had him, when I was pregnant with him, the max I had right before he popped out was 145.
Okay.
And last year in February, I was on 138 pounds, almost 140. And I'm like, this is just ridiculous.
You were close to your pregnancy weight.
Yes, and I'm like, it stops now. So I need to do something, which is when I did the allergy test and it came back in all red numbers. So I lost the weight. I went down to 116 on the carnivore diet. And then while I recovered, I could do better sport. I could put on better muscles on just protein and fat. So I gained back up to 123, but not fat, muscles.
Yeah.
My son just said last month to me when he walked in the kitchen, he said, Mom, you need to stop working out. You look like a guy. So yes, you do not need carbohydrates, most definitely.
That's awesome. But, I think what people miss is like there's an adaptation period for the first month or so. And
yes.
now, did you feel any kind of keto flu?
Oh, yes. I think longer for some people, even longer than a month. When I started, I was still drinking coffee until a few weeks into it before I stopped the coffee. And I did not know that coffee would have such a huge impact. Now, you have to know that the way I drink coffee was like, if I have a mug, let's say I have this mug right here. This is my water mug. Okay. This is just an example. Let's say I would drink my coffee out of this. This much would be coffee and this much would be milk. That's how I drank my coffee because I was actually not really fond of the coffee taste. More like mocha,
Yeah.
And I did not know that that would make me sick like it did. So after a few weeks, when I cut this out, the keto flu went better, a lot better than what it was. I was completely run down. At first you feel energized, but then you go into the keto flu where you're like, where is all the energy that these people speak of? And that was also the time where I increased the butter and generally all the other fat, like more ruminant meats, more fatty ruminant meats. And then slowly I got out of the keto flu. I think it took about a month and a half where I felt amazing, however, fatigued. Like you could tell my body was recovering, but I was not quite fat adapted yet.
Okay. I mean, I think that there's, since you had done vegan, also you've been celiac, which is a sign of being having a lot of nutrient deficiencies and leaky
Yes.
gut. And, it takes a while for your body to like get back to like a baseline of.
Oh, yeah.
So you're just probably kind of storing up these things. And yeah, I mean, people, I think we're in a fast food and fast everything culture. It's just like, well, I should recover from 20 years of yo-yo dieting or whatever in a month or a week. Or it's like, no, it doesn't work like that. I mean, I've been carnivore for 5 years, but I also had a baby in that time. So,
Which is huge stress.
yeah, so it's like I had to basically start twice kind of thing. But anyway, he's super healthy now and all that. Now, what do you tell people when they say, like, you're crazy for going carnivore and you should just have a balanced diet and, it's not good for your son. And, they just go after everything, every part of your lifestyle. Like, what do you say?
I usually tell them that a diet that makes me feel this good cannot be wrong. I mean, I was convinced I was dying. It was that bad in the end. And all the doctors kept telling me it was in my head. You can literally ask all of my friends that know me, my closer friends, which are all on social media on my accounts. You might stumble across them from time to time, how bad it was. Like sometimes I couldn't even go to work. And when I was at work, I was completely non-functional. It was super bad. Whenever I ate something that didn't agree with me, I would be in bed for a week and sick for another 2 after that.
Oh,
It was
wow.
absolutely crazy. We women, we get 2 major events each month. One is the ovulation. The other one is when we get our period. And every 2 weeks, I had a major migraine, which lasted about a good 24 to 48 hours, sometimes 3 days. And then I would be in bed or on the couch for another 4 or 5 days. Until that event was over, I would already go into the next one. It was horrible. I was completely non-functional. If I have enough fat intake, I have none of that, because all our hormones can function better if we intake fat. That's just how it is. I have no down days today. I have so much energy. Sometimes I outlast the 20-year-olds with my energy. Like, I know we were at the Ninja Warrior competition the other day, and I was like cheering. I had my own cheering section. That's how much I was cheering and jumping up and down. My coach looked at me, he's like, I want to have your energy, kind of like that. You know what I mean? Like, I have so much more energy, and I'm so much more healthy. People in my immediate environment know that, because they know how I was before. And they tell me to keep going with whatever I'm doing. Not only is it me, I'm one of my best friends who needs to lose a bit of weight. She has started eating more meat. Another one of my best friends, she has started eating more meat, and they have seen great improvements. One has seen huge improvement with her weight and also with the gout. So I know there's definitely truth to this. I believe we've always eaten meat until the agricultural revolution, which was a huge mistake. If you look at it that way, we should have never done that. And now all the people are addicted to sugar and can't get off of that just because we switched. Yeah, I will tell them about all the anti-nutrients in plants and all the oxalates and phytates and lectins and whatever else is in there. And if they say they feel fine, I will tell them I felt fine until I did not. And the moment you find out that something is wrong, maybe an autoimmune issue, or maybe cancer, it's too late. It will take you years to recover. Better do something now, but most people don't listen, you know.
My husband loves almonds, and I'm always like, oh, please stop with those almonds. Like, because he's kind of like into the Mediterranean diet, and he thinks like almonds and those are healthy fats, and like, no, stop. But
yes, a healthy fat would be beef. That would be a
yeah,
healthy fat. Or
know.
butter.
Yeah, I mean, even like olive oil, I don't think it's bad. I think it's good, but
Avocado oil.
it
Yeah.
can be adulterated. That's the fear, is that it can have weird stuff in it, or if you heat it too much, it can have bad stuff in it. So,
Yes.
a lot of people have celiac disease, and what are the common mistakes you see in your other people that that are celiac?
Too much processed food. Yes, they buy the gluten-free cake mixes, they buy the gluten-free bread mixes. It's all processed crap in the end, which you should not be consuming, or at least keep it to a minimum. But some people eat this on a weekly basis, and it's just not healthy. Or those gluten-free chips, crackers, you name it.
With all the bad oils and
Yes. Yeah, they have so many unhealthy oils in them too. And just try to eat gluten-free in a way that you don't make the same mistake you made before you had to go gluten-free. Like, if you were eating a lot of bread and some cakes and cookies, don't get them in a gluten-free form. Don't get them at all. Just eat something else with a single ingredient if possible.
yeah, just cut back on the processed foods. And I was going to say, I mean, that red, when you said you got the red on all of the things, I had a similar food result, right? Very about before I got my Hashimoto's, and I had like red on everything. And I think that's just showing that your gut is so screwed up.
Yes.
It's not really that you are allergic to all these foods. It's just that you're not absorbing anything and you're so
Your immune
depleted.
system.
Yeah.
Your immune
And
system went haywire. Yeah.
but at that point I wasn't more, I don't know. I don't think I was sick yet, like, because I got to where I couldn't even get out of bed. And then it all kind of made more sense. And so now, did you ever try the keto diet or the paleo diet? Because a lot of people do that before they find carnivore.
No, never. When Todd told me about the carnivore diet, I fell into a huge rabbit hole. I mean, I had enough time to watch because I was sick all the time. So when I was laying in bed, I would watch all the carnivore doctors, Steak and Butter Girl, you name it. And now it's Bill Nutt from Canada, who's done a huge, impressive progress. Just to say that, I don't know if you watch him at all. I love watching him and his cat, but he started at 500 pounds, I believe.
Wow.
Yes, and is now either at 300 something or in the lower 400s. And it's been a year, not even a year, I think. So,
That's
anyways,
amazing.
I fell into a huge rabbit hole watching all these people while I was lying sick in back, and this is it. I'm just gonna throw everything out. If my son wants any other non-carnivore foods, he can tell me. I can buy them on a weekly basis, but there will be nothing here that tempts me. The pain was so big that I was willing to do that. I think sometimes people don't have enough pain yet to make the step. Like, I don't want to belittle that, and that's not how I mean when I say this, but maybe they're just only overweight and don't have pain associated with that, like no diabetes, no nothing, just the overweight issue. And they love their crackers, they love their cakes or whatever, and they're not willing to part with that.
Yeah.
I think until you have a certain amount of incredible pain, you will not be willing to do what I did. I went cold turkey from one day to the other. I literally fell into a rabbit hole, threw everything out, and I said, this is it. I want no more of this. And I trusted Todd, and he was right. I completely recovered. Took about a month, and I was back to normal.
You have to have a strong why, I think is what you're saying. You
Yes.
and I mean, for me too, I was like, a lot of people get multiple autoimmune diseases, and so far I only have one. So I'm like, I don't want to get more. That's always been kind of my motivator, you know. And of course, years ago, I wanted to have a baby when I got sick in 2010. So it was way before I even really thought about having a baby, but I always knew that was something I wanted to do. And I was like, if I don't get healthier, like maybe I can't sustain. Also, I was a personal trainer for 7 years and I could barely stand up and I had to hold the wall while I was training people. So I didn't just collapse, you know, and I had to sit on the bench and count, you know, it was like, you can't, that's not a good look when you're training people if you can't even stand up.
That was another thing that I found. I had more energy. And even though I'm still the slowest in the ninja gym, I'm also the second oldest. So, and the other one who's faster than me, who's older, I don't know how old he is, 50, 57. Uh, he's also a man, and they are typically a little bit quicker than women. I mean, I'm not the slowest either, but still. I had huge conditioning problems and breathing problems. So last year, was it October or November? I can't remember. I was diagnosed with asthma. And I had these breathing problems all my life. And little did I know it was connected with food. Food is causing this. This is just unbelievable. And when I went on the carnivore diet, it took all but 3 to 4 weeks. My asthma was completely gone, completely relieved. There was
And
nothing left.
you've had it your whole life.
I still have problems with oxygen intake, but not because of the asthma. You can feel the difference. If you have asthma, it's like a rock weighs on your chest. You can't even breathe. Now I can breathe deeply. However, my body has trouble converting all of the oxygen it now gets into what it can actually use. It still needs to learn that. Plus, my lungs probably have scarring, I imagine, from 47 years of, having the asthma and nobody ever figured it out. So now I'm healing from that. But I can tell a huge difference in the gym. If we do conditioning, I don't have to run into the bathroom to throw up no more because I just can't go any longer. Like, it's fantastic.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so just pretend somebody's new to carnivore and tell them give them a little pep talk.
Um, if you have any issues losing the weight, if you have any other issues that cause an autoimmune disorder, or you feel fatigued all day long, I do not know what's holding you up. And why are you not going carnivore? 1 week or even a month will not kill you. I would just give it a shot and
Yeah,
see where you end up,
what have you got to lose? And I mean, it's basically free. It's just, you're just switching your food.
Yes.
And that's when I started, my friend was like, just do it for 30 days. And I was like, okay, you know. And I mean, I ate a lot of meat anyway, but not the amounts that that people eat on carnivore. I would eat like, 4 ounces here, 6 ounces there. But I was like, well, but I was always worried about my calories and worried about my
Yes.
portions. And, so now it's like, I don't care about that.
And it's so funny because many years back, I did an elimination diet because I've already had problems after going gluten-free. And I said to my doctor, why do I still have problems? I'm not eating any gluten. I shouldn't be having this. So I ate chicken for 1 week only chicken. And I felt fantastic. That was probably 8 or 9 years back now. Can't remember. So then I had a doctor's visit and she goes, you need to stop doing that because it's not good for you, which is when I stopped. I should have not listened back then already because I felt fantastic.
I
Yes, but and then following Todd's advice, now I'm here and I'm glad that he gave me that advice. So many people who eat carnivore will not tell other people because they're scared of the backlash, but he did. And I'm grateful that he did because I would not be here anymore today. I'm convinced.
Well, your story is very inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing it. Tell everyone where they can follow you.
I'm on Instagram under the Carnivore Ninja, and I'm on YouTube under Steph Gilbert, and I'm on YouTube with the Carnivore Ninja podcast, which is brand
Awesome.
new. I just started it.
Oh, good. Congratulations. And hopefully I'm going to do that one soon. So please share, subscribe, like this video, share with a friend who might be struggling with their health. We really appreciate it. Leave a comment what you thought about Stephanie's interview. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.